Hi guys! So as a continuation of the reporting, let's move forward to the lesson 5, multicultural diversity among tourism-related professions. As mentioned in the previous chapters, the tourism industry has many sectors and cut across various disciplines. The tourism professional is very prone to experience multicultural diversity in the workplace due to the interaction with colleagues and customers who come from different places. Teamwork in this field is very important as many processes in the customer cycles needs interaction with other team members. So for the case 1, the tourism customer travel cycle. Let me take you on a journey and meet tourism professional along the way. Traveling, after all, is what defines tourism. When I plan to go overseas trip for business or leisure, the first tourism professional I come across might not even a human being, but instead an interactive web portal that can give me all information I need to make to inform my decision about the where, when, what, and how of all my travel plans and requirements. A very good example is the portal TripAdvisor. Interacting with TripAdvisor is a totally electronic process where all information pertaining to the cities and countries, airlines, cruise liners, hotels, resorts, restaurants, transportation services, travel, and tours offering, as well as the country specific documentation requirements are all available to its user. The TripAdvisor has over 400 million monthly travel eagers using who do not only use it to get all the help this information but also post reviews of their travel experience, good or bad. Users can post as many as 10 photos per review. The idea is to other users make informed decision and avoid tourism establishment who render poor service. TripAdvisor is 24/7 travel service portal that is always available anytime, anywhere without cost. Once I have all the travel information and option I need, I can now continue with my travel cycle. Do I buy my airline ticket or do I book my hotel room first? Room availability is usually a lesser challenge than airline seat availability. With my itinerary in mind, I can do two things to book my tickets directly with the airline companies or online travel agents or choose to personal discuss my itinerary with a travel personnel. So I decided to meet my travel agent and therefore making them the first tourism professional I came face to face within this travel cycle. A travel agent, or more popular called as TA in our industry, will be able to answer all my itinerary questions and provide me with several airline options. The TA also advised me about all the requirements documents, visas, and travel fees per country of entry. A TA is someone you must nurture a good relationship with because you will be calling of them every time you have to go on a trip. Although airline booking has been made easier by improved technology, TAs are still very much in demand, especially for group and corporate travel requirements which are more complicated and tedious. A TA can also ensure after sales service once you start your actual travel, being available for help in case problems arise. There was one time I was traveling with a group of 20 other companions on a 30 days Filipino concert tour to Rome, Milan, Geneva, Amsterdam, Vienna, London, Dubai, Muscat, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Singapore. When we are on our way to Singapore from our last stop in Europe and the Middle East, our flight was diverted to Cairo, Egypt, due to the bad weather condition. Cairo, rather. We had to weather out the storm to speak the Cairo airport for about 8 hours. Instead of stressing myself with the itinerary challenges ahead, I chose to call our travel agents in Manila and requested that he be on top of the changes because we had to arrive in Singapore no later than the next day for our scheduled concert at 7 p.m. Any further delay could have spelled a huge disaster to the concert's tour series. Our TA immediately planned a new itinerary that would take us to Singapore in time for the concert. Our TA delivered, and we continue our stress free travel to Singapore just in the nick of time, arriving at 4 p.m. for the 7 p.m. concert, and consulting my TA was one of the solutions available for an unexpected problem like this. The other option was for the airline companies itself to help us get to our destination on time. Flying with them or through another airlines within a foreign land, however, the, the challenges will be much greater because of the necessity of dealing with an airline staff with diverse identities to our starting with language. So, Hatid Saya concert tour in 1988 was a government sponsored concert for a Filipino artist for our overseas Filipino workers or OFWs. The sponsoring agency was the Overseas Worker Welfare Administration or OWA. Once I have my airline ticket and complete itinerary, I go online and once again this time to choose my preferred accommodation in each city I am visiting. There are two ways to do this. The first is by booking directly with the hotels I have chosen. All I have to do is and go their website, which all are equipped with online booking engines. So the second option is by going to the online travel agents or OTAs. There are numerous OTAs out there, and among the most prominent operators are like Expedia, Agoda, Traveloka, and Booking.com. The hotel industry tries its best to impose price parity among all its vendors, including their own direct vending. But experiencing has shown us that this is a major challenge to achieve. The best commentary on the matter is the popular travel site Trivago, which promises its user that they can compare hotel rates of the exact same room in the exact same hotel and choose the cheapest offering. The biggest and more established hotel chains have attempted to depend less on OTAs by trying their best to reach out to travelers directly and offering the same booking facility as OTAs. These chains have the distinct advantage, starting with their own loyal base of customers of which they are already in direct communications with. So, on with my travel cycle, it is now time to take my flight and start the journey. So, as for your information rather, Expedia is a global American technology company, or you can find it at www.expediagroup.com. Agoda is a global American online travel agency headquartered in Singapore, and you can also find it at www.agoda.com. Another one is the Traveloka is a Southeast Asian online travel company headquartered in Indonesia. Booking.com is a global Dutch online travel agency headquartered in the Netherlands. Lastly but not the least, the Trivago. Trivago is a German transnational technology company headquartered in Dusseldorf, Germany, and you can also find it by searching the www.booking.com.
Among the tourism professionals you will encounter in airports are the airport ground staff. They check you and your baggage in and issue a boarding pass. These staff members are exposed to all sorts of passengers, including angry and obnoxious ones. Airline delays and long passenger queues, let alone the very stringent airport security measures in place, contribute much to this passenger in. Ang mga kawani o staff ng airport ground ay may napakaikling oras at pagkakataong maging asset o pananagutan sa kanilang mga kumpanya ng airline depende sa kung paano nila ipinapakita ang kanilang sarili at pinangangasiwaan ng mga pasahero sa bawat sitwasyon. Ang pangkalahatang ideya ay upang siguraduhin na ang mga tauhan ay hindi makakadagdag sa stress ng pasahero, sa halip ay tumulong na mabawasan ito. If this is a job you are considering, a word of caution, in this industry, the adage, the customer is always right, happens to be worn on our sleeves. Ang mga nagtatrabaho dito na nasa airline counter ay mayroon lamang silang maikling oras upang maibigay at gawin lahat ng makakaya nila para sa pakikipag-ugnayan sa bawat pasahero dahil sa dami ng kanilang mga bisita. Nakasalalay ang reputasyon ng negosyo sa frontline staff, kung saan kailangan nilang matugunan ang mga bisita ng mabilis at may paggalang. Most airports around the world use multilingual staff to address multilingual passengers traveling around the world. You will often hear the multilingual passenger announcements at airports, so need to have knowledge of other language. Within the airport, besides the airline counter staff, there are several other tourism professionals you will meet along the way: airport information counter staff, duty-free and other merchandising shop personnel, restaurant and coffee shop crew, as well as airport hotel staff. All these staff members are tourism professionals who interact with numerous people from all parts of the world. Their multicultural diversity training is taken very seriously. There are many other airport personnel that we do not directly interact with, but are involved in ensuring our stay in their airports is short but memorable. For example, there are the maintenance staff that ensure that the airport is spick and span, with sufficient air conditioning, cleaning toilets and shower rooms, and enough seating areas that could accommodate thousands of passengers at any given time. They are also tourism professionals. Isadore Sharp is a Canadian hotelier who founded the Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts. Four Seasons, the story of a business philosophy, was first published in 2009 by Portfolio USA. Before I board the airplane for my flight, there are a few other matters tourism professionals should understand about the way airports are now being built all over the world. Since the tourism and travel contribute a big percentage of the world GDP, more and more countries, led by those who experience high tourist volumes, are now redesigning if not completely building, new airports in their cities. The competition for having the best facilities and services is getting deeper by the day. But no one is complaining because it redounds to enormous benefits for all travelers. Among the airports recognized by the several prestigious travel organizations as being on top of their game are Singapore Changi Airport, Tokyo International Airport Haneda, Incheon International Airport Seoul, Hamad International Airport Doha, Hong Kong International Airport, Centrier International Airport Nagoya, Munich Airport, London Heathrow Airport, Tokyo Narita Airport, Zurich Airport, Skytrax World Airport Awards 2019.
All these top airports ensure that their airport staff, who are all tourism professionals, are highly trained in all the intricacies and challenges of multicultural diversities because it is an airport where you will see these diversities merge and sometimes collide every minute of the day. The way cabin crews are organized for flights, whether for short or long haul, is that they are led by the flight purser, and flight purser is a senior cabin crew member with many years of flying experience. Depending on the airline, it takes about 10 years or more before the cabin crew member is promoted to FP, and that only happens when there is a position available. FP position became available when the current FPs retire, resign, or are separated from the company. The FP manages a crew of flight attendants or FA and the flight stewards FS. The number of FAs and FS depends on the aircraft they are flying. The bigger aircrafts or jumbo jets can have as many as 15 to 20 crew members and the smaller aircrafts from 2 to 10 crew members. Each of these crew members has given a specific assignment for each flight leg. These assignments carry specific passengers and emergency duties for the duration of the flight. Many airlines employ flight interpreters like Chinese, Japanese, and Russian who deliver in-flight announcements in these languages. They are also tasked to interpret any language requirement of their compatriot passengers. Their presence is very important, especially during emergencies. Flight interpreters is usually given additional cabin crew duties, especially when flights are full. The cabin crew are among my favorite bunch of tourism professionals because they are highly customer-driven individuals. Aside from undergoing a long and insensitive training, crew members must possess values that translate to service excellence. Cabin crew members have all the time in the world to extend good service to passengers. From short 1 hour flights to long haul flights of 10 to 15 hours, passengers can be pampered and carried from the cruise in ways that will enjoy passengers' minds and hearts. Passengers do not have any other place to go during the flight, therefore, the cabin crew members have the longest exposure with them. Trans-Pacific, Middle Eastern, and European flights take 10 to 15 hours. During this time, passengers enjoy at least two meals such as dinner and breakfast. Cocktails are usually available throughout the flight. In flight, movies and music are available on demand. Cabin crew members take turns in remaining awake during the entire flight to ensure that passengers receive service all the time. What is unique about the job of a cabin crew is that they both in-flight service is as well as emergency procedures. Cabin crew members will know what to do in case of unplanned emergency, which can mean the plane landing on water or land. They are in charge in the area from the cockpit door to the kitchen area. The main task of cabin crew is to explain to passengers what to do in case of emergency, auditory and visually, to know and understand the type of warning. The other is cabin crew members are highly exposed to multicultural diversities in flight among the passengers as well as during their rest overnight or ON. Stays in different cities around the world in a matter of an hour's flight. The cultural differences, for instance, of the Philippines and the Hong Kong are already extreme. There are times the crew stays in the city for 2 to 3 days more. This means they have more time to be exposed to the local culture and traditions. I am going to read a story. There was a time when I was a FS with Philippine Airlines or PAL where I was able to experience for myself how challenging it is to believe and carry through the adage the customer is always right. An intoxicated Caucasian passenger was starting to annoy many passengers. It was an evening flight, so it made it more difficult because passengers in peace. As the CA-14 or Cabin Attendant 14 of the DC-10 aircraft, I was the steward in charge of the specific section the intoxicated passenger was seated in. I had to manage the situation, and this is where our cabin crew training truly made a difference because depending on the way I choose to handle him, I could make it or break it for my company. In order not to become confrontational with the passenger, which would trigger an anger reaction, especially when someone intoxicated, I decided to simply have a quiet conversation with him as if nothing was the matter. During that conversation, I was able to ask him to lower the tone of his voice because other passengers were asleep. When he asked me for more beer, I instead invited him to the galley where I told him we should continue our talk so he can tell me more about this beautiful country, Australia. He obliged. After the couple more beers, some quiet laughter and banter, he volunteered to leave me in peace in return to his seat without other bottle of beer. I also wish him a good night's rest because we had about another 4 hours before the next meal service which was breakfast. Before I approached this passenger to handle the situation, two options were running in my mind. The more dominant option was to talk him firmly and directly and be ready for an altercation. The second option just happened once I was right in front of him. I was guided by my instinct to not react to his sort of childlike manner. I decided to treat him like a friend. It worked. So we have here reflections. The first one is always take your job training seriously. You will never know when some sensitive situations like this one will just pop up. Of course, we never know when or what might happen in our workplace, but the best is always to be prepared for possible unkind situation. The second one is the adage the customer is always right is not only worn in the sleeves for every tourism professionals, it is also ingrained in their minds, meaning it has to be shown in action or by action. The third one is having a general idea of multicultural diversities among different nationalities and knowing how to tactfully deal with these diversities when conflicts arise could mean a make or break in your handling in the situation. Always ensure you make, not break. Okay? The fourth one is sincerely listening to and empathizing with your customer is one of the keys resolving all the conflicts. And the last one is it is never about you, it is always about the other.
Case 2, the tourism professional and balikbayans. There was another flight that I was in that required extra patience on my part because I was again faced but not by one but by a group of about 10 senior balikbayans flying from Honolulu to Manila after many years of being away from the Philippines. About an hour before landing at the Manila International Airport, now the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, some American passengers seated close to this group called my attention to complain about the noisy balikbayans. The truth is, they were indeed noisy, if not rowdy. But deep inside, I knew these 10 Filipino Americans were just very excited to be back home to experience and relive once again their memories of this land they once called home. At this moment, I was dealing with a set of very different people, once Filipinos in their past, now Americans by choice after migrating to America. With the exception of two, everyone was speaking English with a twang, never answering me in Filipino, so conversing with them was a little bit amusing. Case 2 is all about the experience of a flight attendant with a group of excited and a bit of noisy group of 10 senior balikbayans. Now, we all know that being a flight attendant or becoming a flight attendant is an exciting career which involves travel, a high paying salary, and most importantly, ensuring the safety and comfort of airline passengers. My mission was to ask my balikbayans to tone it down a bit because other passengers were complaining. I initially thought it was going to be as easy as just requesting them to tone it down and they would. Unfortunately, for some strange reason, the leader of the group stood up and put his face too close to mine and bluntly told me that they were not going to tone down their voices and no Filipino steward could command them to do so. I was aghast, to say the least, since this leader was behaving more like a spoiled brat than an adult. I decided to react to his childish demeanor by also acting like a child too, but a smart one. With the situation that the flight attendant have, we would be able to recognize some of the characteristics of becoming a flight attendant, and one of these is being respectful and understanding to airline passengers. In this circumstance, the flight attendant is respecting and understanding that these 10 senior balikbayans are just too excited to be back in the Philippines or in their old home. Being a flight attendant is not an easy career. You have to move big luggages, stand and walk for a very long period of time, and most importantly, you have to deal with different kind of situations and different kind of people just like this one. So, the next reporter, Mr. Enaje, will tackle how this flight attendant deal with the circumstances that she is in.
Since I heard them also speak Ilocano interspersed with their English, I decided to use the very little Ilocano I know and surprise them with my first question, which was, "Anya tinagan mo?" The leader of the pack, who still had his face close to mine, suddenly retreated and asked, "Ilocano ka?" I laughed and said that was the only Ilocano I know. In this instance, dito pumasok yung tinatawag na establishing a common thread, that the steward created a connection between his passenger, and that connection made it easier for better communication. For some reason, he relaxed his stance and continued to ask me questions. I spent some time with him because now, all of a sudden, it went from "we will not follow any orders from anyone," much less a Filipino steward, to "can you tell us something more about yourself?" And "would you like to learn a few more Ilocano words?" So, ito na yung naging result nung impression na ginawa ng steward towards his passenger kanina. That the passenger became more comfortable to talk, and they are willing to listen to the orders of the steward. Na yung because the impression break the tension between them. Now that I was able to break the ice, I continued and told them that if they all tone down their voices, I will give them each a nice toy souvenir from the pal. They become louder because they started cheering and thanking me already for the toys. I reminded all of them the toys will only come if they will be peace and quiet among them, and they all oblige. I went back to the galley and prepared 10 PAL airplane giveaways. I showed them the toys and told them that I will personally and happily hand this over to each one of them before deplaning. Fortunately for everyone, there was peace and quiet until we landed in Manila. So in this story, or in this case, it is important for us service providers that We must always know how to solve any conflicts in every given situation. And to do so, we must always be patient and calm. 5 takeaways from this story. First, Filipino immigrants to the United States of America, specifically those that have made the state of Hawaii their place of residence, are most likely from the Ilocos region or Ilocanos. Luckily for me, I was able to establish a common thread between them and me by proudly saying something in their native tongue. This broke the ice. Balikbayans and OFWs are the most excitable Filipino airline passengers you will meet. Understanding their excitement and putting yourself in their shoes is the first step to resolving any conflicts that arise. Little gestures means a lot. The airplane toy giveaways were gifts they brought home to their loved ones with the poignant story of how they got them. I am certain of that. When this story happened, I must have been about 25 years old and dealing with people I could have considered my grandparents. I did not see them as a bunch of noisy senior balikbayans. Respect.
For the third case, we have tourism professionals in the hotel. This case is all about the tourism and hospitality professionals you will meet or encounter upon arriving at your destination or the hotel where you are booked in. Upon arriving at my destination, I usually take the hotel limousine for convenience and safety. Since I made prior arrangements, a representative of the hotel I am booked in meets me by the airport exit, assists me with my luggage, and leads me to my waiting limousine. Almost all hotels generally provide transport service to their guests because it is one of the most important services that are provided by the hotel. So if you have prior arrangements with the hotel, upon arrival at the airport, sasalubungin ka ng kanilang airport representative. But hindi lahat ng hotels ay mayroong airport reps. In that case, you have to ride a taxi or book an Uber or Grab to pick you up and bring you to the hotel. Airport reps, as they are referred to for short, are on the front line of the hotel staff I will be encountering. They are there for the hotel's first impression, and hotel companies are aware of this and ensure that they are properly recruited and trained. The hotel industry, like many other industries, has a special list of what they refer to as VVIPs, or very, very important persons. Airport representative, as you can see on the picture, works at the hotel assisting guests with anything related to their flight arrangements. As an airport representative, your duties includes going to the airport to greet VIP guests upon arrival, pagdadala ng luggages at pag-aasikaso ng lahat ng transportation arrangements ng guest papunta at pag-alis ng hotel. Additionally, they act as the hotel's ambassador at the airport. That is why, isa sa pinaka-importanting bahagi ng kanilang trabaho ay magbigay ng magandang impression doon sa guest since they are the first people they meet when they arrive. In hotels, they also have what we call VVIPs, or very, very important persons. Although tinatrato naman nila lahat ng guests as very important persons, VVIPs are mostly high-ranking officials, executives, a highly renowned person like dignitaries, ambassadors, and etc. So they have to give them special treatment because they pay premium for that kind of service. They are usually those na limousine ang ginagamit pang pick-up. They also have executive floors and butlers instead of waiters. I am now on my way to the hotel, and the hotel chauffeur will have to continue with the established first impression I received from the airport rep. Once in the car, this chauffeur once again can either make it or break it for the hotel he represents. Once done with the airport representative, the hotel chauffeur is the second person that the guest will be encountering. The hotel and travel industry is dominated by customer service, so being in the hotel business, our mantra is giving satisfaction to our guests from the beginning until the end of their visit. As the hotel chauffeur, they need to continue what has been started in giving good impression to the guest. With that, aside from their primary responsibility to transport guests upon arrival, their duties and responsibilities include: a hotel chauffeur can act as a conduit to some of your local travel plans. He also can serve as an impromptu tour guide while driving you to the hotel unless you opt for some peace and quiet. As a guest, you can engage them in your conversation because they know suggestions and information kung saan ka pwedeng pumunta or ano yung pwede mong gawin during your stay at their hotel. Chauffeur's top of mind instinct is safety. He must be able to answer questions from passengers. And he should have excellent driving skills, must be in very good physical condition, and must be a great representation not only his hotel but his country. The transportation service from the airport to the hotel becomes part of any hotel's extended service. For hotels, extra service means extra happiness for the guest. So, we do whatever will make the guest happy and comfortable. Even sa pagsundo pa lang sa guest, some hotels are giving extra service such as pag-offer ng bottled cold water or soda, candies, hot or cold towels, magazines and newspapers, or extra car pillows. Arriving at the hotel is one of the best parts of this travel cycle. There are hotel companies that give a very specific focus on guest arrivals, ensuring all our five senses are captured at this magical moment. The guest arrival and check-in is the most important part of hotel's customer service journey because gusto natin na iparamdam sa guests that they are recognized, they are attended to, and most importantly, welcomed. If you are familiar with Accor Hotels, they are the one who manages Sofitel Philippine Plaza, which is considered as the leading edge of this philosophy. The Sofitel is a wonderful representation where multicultural diversity is very pleasantly rolled out and accepted by both guests and staff. As soon as you enter the lobby of Sofitel, you'll feel a comforting yet otherworldly vibe of exactly where you are but with a little French flair. The Sofitel Philippine Plaza is known to be the only 5-star hotel where their lobby ambassadors greet you in French and Filipino with bonjour, mabuhay, or good morning, mabuhay. Sofitel is managed under Accor Hotels. Accor Hotels is a French multinational company which is the single largest hospitality company in Europe and the 6th largest in the world. It owns some of the most iconic hotel brands in the world like Raffles, Fairmont, Banyan Tree, Novotel 26, and Mercure.
Sofitel Philippine Plaza is a 655-room luxury hotel within the Cultural Center of the Philippines complex that initially opened as the Westin Philippine Plaza in 1976 until it was rebranded as Sofitel in 2006. Ang Sofitel Philippine Plaza ay isang magarbo at malaking hotel na tinatawag noong taong 1976 na Westin Philippine Plaza na pinalitan lamang noong taong 2006 ng Sofitel. It was established in 1976 as the first hotel in the Philippines of international caliber and was designed by Philippine national artist Leandro Locsin. The Sofitel is a sought-after venue for high-end events, from extravagant weddings to swanky business meetings and retreats. Raffles Hotels and Resorts is a chain of luxury hotels that traces its roots to the 1887 opening of the Raffles Hotel in Singapore. Kabilang ang Raffles Hotel sa chain of luxury hotels dito sa Pilipinas na nanggaling pa sa bansang Singapore. This hotel is a 30-story architectural masterpiece set in the heart of the financial district with every individual need catered for by Raffles butlers. Fairmont Hotels and Resorts is a Canadian chain of luxury hotels which operates 75 hotels in Banyan Tree. It's an international hospitality brand established in 1994 in Singapore. This hotel is situated in the heart of Makati Central Business District. It features an outdoor swimming pool, a gym, and business center. It offers contemporary rooms and boasts an exclusive pillow menu to suit guest preferences. Free Wi-Fi access is available in the entire hotel. Novotel is a mid-scale hotel brand owned by Accor Hotels. It is located within the business district of Quezon City. Novotel offers contemporary accommodation with easy access to LRT or MRT stations, Gateway Mall, and Smart Araneta Center. It features an outdoor pool, all-day dining restaurant, a grand ballroom, and 7 meeting rooms. Mercury is a mid-scale hotel brand owned by Accor Hotels. Katulad lamang din siya ng Novotel na owned by Accor Hotels. Mercury is a mid-scale hotel brand specialized in traditional hotels managed by committed hoteliers. The lobby ambassadors, or in many cases, the doormen or bellmen, are the third line of staff you will encounter. Despite the very limited time, they have to impress their arriving guests. Their most important task is to look the guest in the eye, warmly welcome them as they step into the hotel, quickly offer assistance with their luggage, and lead them straight to the front desk for immediate check-in. This very short time they spend with guests must be enduring, just like all other staffers. They are expected to deliver nothing but excellent service during the entire interaction. Yung doorman or bellman, yung third line of staff na ma-encounter ng mga guest. Dahil sa limitado lamang yung interaction between the doorman or bellman and sa guest is kailangan ma-impress na nila ito mula pa lang sa pag-arrive ng guest, sa pag-welcome nito sa kanila at sa pag-assist at pagbitbit ng mga gamit nito. Kaya't dapat yung service na ma-offer at ma-experience sa mga guests sa kanila ay excellent. At the front desk, I am met by a front desk receptionist. Some hotels refer to them as front desk associates or front desk clerks. Here lies the heart of the hotel. The desk associates are expected to expeditiously check in guests without any bureaucracy or necessary delays. If my hotel reservation is handled adequately, the check-in process should not take longer than 2 minutes. Sinasabi dito na yung front desk yung pinaka-heart or center ng hotel. Dito, yung may pinaka-importanteng process or transaction dahil may mga guests na ayaw ng delay or abala at gusto na lamang magpahinga. Most hotels are equipped with the latest property management systems or PMS as they are referred to that allow for efficient guest management, and the checking in process is just one part of the entire system. A good PMS can create higher percentages of guest loyalty if utilized properly by hotel staff. Hotels always endeavor to increase their percentage share of returning guests because it makes good business sense. Property Management System or PMS is a computerized system that facilitates in the management of the hotel, resort, or property. Napakalaki at importante ng role ng PMS sa isang hotel. Dahil tumutulong ito sa pag-handle ng lahat ng operation sa isang hotel, from booking, check-in, check-out, and billing. The front desk receptionist is fully aware of all nationalities in the house. The challenge is that many nationalities rarely speak English second language. Correctly interpreting what guests are telling you is of utmost importance. Watch out for the French, Portuguese, Germans, Chinese, and Japanese among many others. Napaka-importante bilang isang front desk receptionist ang maging aware or may background sa iba't ibang uri ng lingwahe dahil kadalasan sa mga guests ay hindi marunong magsalita at makaintindi ng Ingles. While in the hotel, I will be interacting with many other tourism professionals. This includes the room attendant, laundry valet, room service order taker, room service waiter, bartender, restaurant receptionist, restaurant waiter, miter, the hotel, health club staff, and recreational staff, depending on the hotel's other services. I could meet other hotel professionals such as a lifeguard, a business center associate, an events planner, or a specialty chef like a sushi or a dim sum chef. Sa isang hotel is marami at may iba't ibang professions. Sa pakikipag-interact mo sa kanila is marami kang matututunan sa iba't ibang klase ng trabaho. Among the hotel staff that can be helpful to any guest at any time is a concierge. The concierge staff are stationed at the front office and encompass many responsibilities from valet parking, door opening, mail and message delivery, luggage handling, transportation services, and tour and travel services. A concierge should be able to assist a guest even if it will require leaving their post to accomplish the guest's request. A good concierge is like the hotel's compendium of services, a repository of information about anything and everything a hotel guest may require during this stay. Ang concierge ay napaka-helpful anytime sa mga guest dahil ang typical duties ng mga concierge ay ang pagtulong sa guest with restaurant reservations, recommending activities in the area, at ang pag-arrange ng transportation to the airport. Maitre hotel is a French term for a restaurant manager or supervisor who is usually in charge of table reservations and the service staff. A restaurant manager makes sure the restaurant runs smoothly. They hire and train staff following company policies. In addition, restaurant managers speak with customers about any concerns or problems, while also creating work schedules.
There are other associations for the different functions in the hotel industry. Among these are marketing and sales, human resources, housekeeping, and security 25. Associations are there to further the development of their members and to provide them on industry social environment. When I was a director for human resources of the Hyatt Regency Manila, we implemented a very interesting program where all hotel executives and managers would be assigned to do rank and file work for 2 weeks. The basic idea was to immerse ourselves with the tasks that the majority of the hotel workforce deliver daily. This meant serving our guests as bellmen, front desk agents, telephone operators, waiters, bartenders, room attendants, and butlers. The kitchen was off limits to us because we would only pose a hindrance to operations since cooking is a different skill altogether. Le Clé d'Or is a French term that literally means keys of gold. This is a worldwide association of hotel concierges. Le Clé d'Or Philippines is the Association of Hotel Concierges in the Philippines. HSMA or Hotel Sales and Marketing Association of the Philippines. AHRM or Association of Human Resources Managers in the Hospitality Industry. EHAP or Executive Housekeepers Association of the Philippines, and AHSOP or Association of Hotel Security Officers of the Philippines. I was assigned to be a butler at the Regency Club, Hyatt's exclusive executive floor for premium guests and VVIPs. After 2 weeks of being a butler, I jokingly asked my general manager then, Perfecto Kicho, if I could permanently become a butler because it was such an enjoyable experience. I had the wonderful opportunity to meet and personally serve the hotel's VVIPs. It was the 2-week experience that made me understand why hotel staff truly enjoy what they do. The real reason I asked jokingly to become a butler permanently is because the guests were very generous with their tips. It made me happy knowing that our rank and file and were earning well. A monthly basic pay, a monthly service charge plus all the tips. Many other tourism professionals work in establishments other than airlines and hotels. Among these establishments are cruise liners, entertainment centers, casinos, theaters, theme parks, and transportation companies. The tourism industry is regulated and monitored by the UNWTO, or the United Nations World Tourism Organization, headquartered in Madrid, Spain. Its mandate is the promotion of responsible, sustainable, and universally accessible tourism. It promotes tourism as a driver of economic growth, inclusive development, and environmental sustainability. One of the World Tourism Organization's priorities is the most relevant to developing countries like the Philippines, advancing tourism's contribution to poverty reduction and development.
Perfecto F. Quicho, the very first Filipino to be appointed general manager of a 5-star international chain in the country. He was the general manager of the Hyatt Regency Manila from 1984 until 1992. In the Philippines, the tourism industry is doing its share to promote tourism for more Filipinos to find gainful employment, whether you end up working in the country or overseas. Working in the tourism industry is highly rewarding in many ways: finances, career progression, exposure to many cultures, and world travel. It is estimated that 25% of the world's seafarers, many of them working in cruise liners, are Filipinos. If there is one working environment where multicultural diversity is experienced every minute of the day, it is cruise ships. Your passengers come from all over the world. The ship crew is a big mix of cruise line staff coming from both developed and developing countries. Your roommates are not necessarily your kababayan. You may very well be sharing your accommodations with any of the 50 nationalities usually represented on board. Cruise liners are floating hotels. The staff working on these ships are all hotel experience. Staff attrition in the Philippines hotel is quite high because of these cruise lines opportunities. Filipino hotel staff also happen to be one of the most requested in these ships. There is therefore a never-ending recruitment of hotel staff in the country. Overall, it is good for everyone. The hotels have the opportunity to add fresh and new staff to their organizations regularly. The cruise liners are very pleased with well-trained and highly service-oriented hotel staff in their ships, and our Filipino crew members are all doing our country a great service by enhancing our country's image among passengers. Filipino staff members can experience the unique opportunity to be able to work while traveling all around the world at a time when they still young, capable, and healthy.
It is good for everyone since the hotel have the opportunity to add fresh and new staff to their organization regularly. The cruise liners are very pleased with well-trained and highly service-oriented hotel staff in their ships, and our Filipino crew members are all doing our country a great service by enhancing our country's image among passengers. Filipino staff members can experience the unique opportunity to be able to work while traveling all around the world at a time when they still young, capable, and healthy. Cruise are just like hotels. Kahit yung mga cruise ships are classified as means of transportation, there are still type of accommodation since nagpo-provide yung mga cruise ship ng service accommodation sa mga travelers. Also, mapapansin na some cruise line staff ay may mga experience na magtrabaho sa hotel since other cruise qualification include hotel experience employees kasi na-train na sila ng maayos to provide great service sa mga guests. Pero yung mga choice ng mga nasa industry na magtrabaho sa cruise ship is hindi lang basta na-determine by the employment condition ng cruise sector. And mas madalas mga ay nakadepende dun sa employment condition ng other industries. Kasi karamihan sa mga nasa tourism industry wants unique opportunity and syempre a great income din in a way na nag-i-enjoy sila. So para rin ma-ensure yung access to crew personnel such as Filipinos and other cultural similar nationals, yung ibang cruise corporation have to come up with a strategic recruitment policy. Tourism professionals in general are prepared workers for the delivery of excellent service to customers even outside this industry. Careers in the tourism and hospitality industry are amongst the fastest growing areas of employment in the world. And kaya mas prepared yung mga tourism professionals kasi yung mga nasa industry na to ay trained to provide a great service para masatisfy yung mga guests. Also, aside sa yung career sa tourism is fun, it is also adventurous. It is a great na expose yung mga nasa industry na to sa new things and meeting different people na nagiging dahilan kung bakit natitrain na mag-handle ng iba't ibang situation. A career in this industry offer endless opportunities and yung knowledge and skills na na-acquire through the program is essential and magagamit talaga for a variety of different careers. Example na lang si Kicho na nakapagtrabaho sa government kahit part siya ng industry na to. If you are a part of this industry, you can land a job anywhere in the world. Professionals in the hospitality and tourism industry have so many exciting work settings and opportunities to choose from as long alam mo kung paano gamitin and applying skills and knowledge na na-acquired mo sa industry na to. Thank you!
So let's proceed to the next and last part of this topic, which is the case for crossing industries for tourism professionals. There was one time a giant telecommunications company that was growing very fast requested that I provide them with 25 of the very best hotel guest services managers to lead their premium branches all over the Philippines. The idea was to transfer the technology of the provision of excellent customer service in hotels to their telecom staff in these branches. The telecom giant had to offer my candidates premium salaries, cars, and guaranteed bonuses for these hoteliers to make an industry shift in their careers. It was a gamble both for the telecom giant as well as the hoteliers. The good news is that more than 10 years later, the majority of this batch of 25 have moved up the ladder in the organization to executive level position with added responsibilities. In this case, it's all about crossing industries for the tourism professionals. Ano nga ba pag sinabing cross-industry or crossing industry? It refers to any industry that does not directly or indirectly compete with the company's current industry. Like yung example na nga dito na hoteliers tapos napunta sa telecommunication company. Di ba kung titingnan, hindi ganun ka-related as a tourism professionals na mag-work sa telecom company. I don't know if this is the explanation po para dito but I think dito papasok yung partnership or collaboration between the two industries. Yung industry nga na hindi ganun ka-related sa isa't isa. And ginagawa nila itong changes na ito to stay in business. Going back to the case, sabi dito na merong telecom company ang nag-request sa kanya ng 25 hotel guest services managers para i-lead yung mga branches dito sa Philippines. They do this para ma-adapt o maging example itong mga hoteliers para sa mga telecom staff kung paano nga ba ang better or excellent customer service. And during the process, nag-offer naman ang telecom company ng high salaries, cars, and bonuses para mag-shift itong mga hoteliers sa kanilang industry. So bilang hotelier, example ako or kayo, anong mas pipiliin nyo? Being a manager in a hotel or a telecom staff but with high salaries, cars, and bonuses? But it depends pa din sa tao. If she or he love working in a hotel, then mag-i-stay siya doon. At kung gusto naman niya ng bagong experience or they just want the high salary, then it's for them to decide. Yes, it's a gamble for both telecom company and hoteliers. But being business leaders, they must be willing to shake up their business, build partnerships across industries to access new customers, and remain competitive. Partnership or collaboration doesn't come without risk. But we don't know, maybe those risks will eventually become opportunities. And the good news, 10 years later, almost of this batch of 25 ay napunta sa executive level positions. Walang sinabi if they stay working in a hotel or lumipat sila. Maybe some of them. But the important part is they did the right decision kasi nasa executive level na sila. In this age of open borders, real-time communications, and more digital natives joining the workforce, multicultural diversity becomes easier to understand and accept as a mutual reality and a responsibility. That's all. Thank you.